Hi, it's Ruby. You might be looking at the Disney Cruise Line website and wondering if the Halloween on the High Seas cruise is worth it. Well, me and my family just got back from a cruise on the Fantasy, 7 days, and I have some insight. So I thought today we'd talk about 3 reasons why we liked the cruise and 3 things that we thought that they could do better. The first thing that we absolutely loved about our Disney Halloween on the High Seas cruise was the atrium. When you first walk into the ship, they do the typical, what's your family name? And then they say, welcome, the Ruby family, or whatever you end up telling them. And we really loved the way that they decorated the atrium. They had beautiful fall garlands from the bottom of the atrium up about 3 levels. And then in all the windows on maybe those main like 4th, 5th, and 6th deck, you would be able to see these pumpkins, and that was pretty cool. Sometimes it would be like one looking pumpkin, like a stencil into the window, and then sometimes it would look different. So we did really like that. It reminded me a lot of Disney World and the main street there that leads up to the castle. It was like the same type of pumpkin, and that was really cool. There was also a pumpkin tree that's featured in the atrium, and there's a pumpkin tree on all of the Disney boats, including the Wish. The Wish's tree does look like fancier, but again, that's like a newer experience, so it's gonna be. But it was really cool to see all those decorations and to see that tree. It did definitely give you that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm stepping onto like a Halloween inspired cruise. The second thing that we really liked on our cruise was the initial ceremony that they did. We also really liked the initial storytelling where they kind of tell the story of the pumpkin tree, and then it breaks out into the I don't want to ruin it, but it has a lot to do with the Nightmare Before Christmas, and that was super cool. I really enjoyed that. What we really enjoyed was the arts and crafts that you could do throughout the entire week that were Halloween inspired. We had some magnets that we had purchased, but we left them on the inside of the room door. But as you walk through the hallways to your room, you're gonna see people decking out their front door. So it was really nice to be able to go into one of those activities during the day with your kids and make magnets, or maybe if you were gonna make a 3D pumpkin, they had like those kinds of things. So really fun, and even my husband went by himself and did some arts and crafts, and I really liked that. There was also arts and crafts in the kids club, so the kids can do exclusive things, and my little one loved going to the lab and participating in those arts and crafts. I'm gonna give you a bonus one that we liked, but it also kind of feeds into the ones that we kind of thought could be better. And so that was the trick-or-treating evening night. So I'll say the positives before I go into the 3 things that we thought could be better, but it was really cool to have a trick-or-treating experience. It was kind of like if you've been on a Disney cruise, they have a Pirates Night where they theme the evening. It's very piratey, everybody wears costumes, and then they have a buffet at the end that's special, and it's like a Pirates themed buffet, and we love that. It's super nice. You'd get like a bandana with Mickey like dressed up as a pirate, and that was really nice. And then at dinner they would have a Pirates dessert. That was cool. So it's kind of like that, but just not as good. So the trick-or-treating is fun for little ones, like if they're little kids, and I'll say that that's like a bonus, something we liked. Okay, so to summarize, number 1, liked the pumpkin decorations and the pumpkin tree in the atrium. Number 2, the scary ceremony that they did. I guess it'd be like a storytelling thing, ceremony. They have that. That was really cool. And then number 3 is arts and crafts paired with some of the Halloween activities. Okay, so this is gonna be rough. Know that I love Disney, I love going on cruises, so either way, I'm always gonna have a blast. But there's 3 things that I think that they could have did better. So number 1, if you're looking at a regular cruise versus a Halloween cruise, and let's say there's a huge price difference, and you're expecting this Halloween immersion, you're not getting that. That's not what it is, okay? And that was something that I had heard that from other people, but I wanted to see for myself if that was true, and I would absolutely say that's true. You're not getting a Halloween immersion experience. Now, if you're from the West Coast, like I am, your bar is gonna be higher because we have the Disneyland Halloween events, and then we also have Oogie Boogie's Bash, and that's just like over the top amazing, super immersive, whether it be the costumes that the characters wear, or the rides. They change a couple of the rides like Haunted Mansion, or even just completely changing the way that a land looks. I mean, Cars Land goes over this whole like Halloween thing where even the cars have, I mean, these cars that are not, you know, just people wearing a mask. They're fully changed into Halloween themed attire. So the bar for that is pretty high, and if you're expecting that on the cruise, you're gonna be disappointed. They have some Halloween stuff, but it could have been themed better. Like, for example, the first night after we sailed away, we did the sail away party. Mind you, it was a regular sail away party. There was no Halloween elements to it. Well, I was in the Cove Cafe, and then a voice comes on to the intercom, and it legit sounds just like the voice from the Haunted Mansion.
Greetings! I am your master of ceremonies for Halloween on the high seas. We have some...
And I totally geeked out. I was so excited. And the guy's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna check in throughout the cruise, and you know, we're gonna have so many activities. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I never heard from that guy again. That is something small that could have been done. Have that guy or somebody who sounds like that do all of the announcements the whole time. Like, yes, it'd be a little bit more work, but again, you're advertising it as a Halloween cruise, and so if you're expecting that immersion, you're gonna be disappointed. So that's one thing that they could have done differently. Another thing that could have been improved upon is the access to the characters that were Halloween themed. So one thing I've always said about Disney cruises is it's awesome because you constantly have characters that you get to have special, unique experiences with. Whether it be going to a meet and greet or if you're just in the kids club, you have these unique experiences. I would have liked to have seen the Halloween themed characters more readily available. I thought it was awesome that Minnie and Daisy and Clarabelle were decked out in the Sanderson sisters outfits, but it was difficult to have a meet and greet with them. I absolutely loved seeing them in those costumes. I thought that was so cool. And I know that they also had them dressed like that at Disney World and Disneyland. So I loved that, but they were only available for a few days. And so that was a little bit better than Sally and Jack. Sally and Jack were only available on the Halloween party night, and it was during really inconvenient times. We waited for like over an hour to see them, and actually it was more like an hour and a half because we got in line early, and because it took so long, we missed like a big part of the Halloween party upstairs. So the dance party and the trick-or-treating was all on the main deck where they have the regular Pirates Night and also the sail away party. So we were super like, it just like took the winds out of our sails. Like, we got dressed up in our costumes, and then we're like, oh, we're gonna go see Sally and Jack. And we waited so long, and that's like as long as you would probably wait in the parks. The way that they had them come out was during the early dinner. That's when the late dining people would come and see them and wait in the line. So I actually think the late dining people, and that might be a pro tip, I don't know if I'd build my dining schedule around this, but if you do late dining, you have a better chance of seeing Sally and Jack. You can come down, you're not missing anything, and you'd wait in line. And so if you're waiting an hour, it's not a big deal because, like I said, there's nothing going on during that time. And then you're gonna go and have your dinner, and then you can go upstairs and do the trick-or-treating and the Halloween party. But if you're in the first dining, you would either have to miss your dining or leave super early. We left early to get in line and then hope it doesn't take too long. But even then, there's not a lot of time before you have to go back upstairs for the party. So that was really disappointing. They did come back out around, like, I think it was 10 p.m. But if you're trying to bring your kids, at least for us, that's not gonna work. We have small kids and they really wanted to see Jack and Sally. So we kind of had to pick between seeing them and then doing the deck party. So that was really disappointing. It would have been really cool if they were available for at least like 3 days. This is a 7-day cruise. I can understand, actually I can't, because I feel like it would be worse if it was a shorter cruise. They just should have been available more often. I also think that you didn't really get to see the characters in their Halloween costumes throughout. I think at least once in the evening that would have been nice. Again, it just kind of felt like it was a regular cruise and they were trying to like add a little bit of Halloween, but it wasn't a Halloween cruise. So I mentioned that I was going to circle back on the trick-or-treating. Yeah, it was fine, but it just wasn't like as, you're like building up, because usually the trick-or-treating event is towards the end of the cruise. So you're like building up to this, and especially where you're like, okay, like we've had a little bit of Halloween, but it's not like as much as we thought it was gonna be. So you're thinking it's gonna be like this huge bang, and it just wasn't. And I thought it could be better. I even remembered going to the Sweet on You shop, and I was taking some footage there and looking at the different desserts they had, and like underneath there was some Halloween desserts, and this is like day 4. So I asked, I was like, oh, can I buy those? And they're like, oh, they're not ready. Those Halloween desserts didn't come out until the day of the Halloween party, which is like the last full day. Actually, second to last day, I think it's day 6 that we were on the cruise. I just was like, oh, okay, like that would have been so cool to have access to that, or even a Halloween dessert every night. Like, you don't even have to put it on the menu. Mind you, they now allow you to look at the menu on your phone. They have printed as well, but that could have been something. Oh, today's is a Halloween-inspired sundae. I just would have loved that. I think those were like simple things. So in closing, is it worth it? If you're looking for a Halloween immersion on a Disney cruise, I don't think it's worth it. Sorry, I just can't say it is. But if you're like just wanting to do a Disney cruise, which, you know, in general I'm saying like I would always go on a Disney cruise no matter what, and you want a dash of Halloween and you want to see the characters and you want to have just like some fun on the sea, absolutely, that it's worth it for sure. If you're looking at a difference in price, and price really matters to you, and it's like a big substantial difference, I would probably skip on it. Now, for those that live in Florida or within driving distance of the cruise ship, it might be totally worth it to you regardless, because maybe you can get a different or more affordable price. But I would just say, it just wasn't. I was a little disappointed. But I'm so happy we're back to sailing. It's been 2 years, and we had canceled this cruise. Well, it was canceled for us, and then we canceled it because of what was going on in 2020 and 2021. So we were really looking forward to it. Overall, I had a blast. I had a great time. I knew what to expect because I've been on several Disney cruises. We did have some people with us that this was their first cruise, and I will be having them come on and kind of say how they thought it was. But overall, love Disney, love cruising. But if you're looking for Halloween immersion, I think you're better off going to Disneyland or the Oogie Boogie Bash. Alright guys, well that's what I had for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please check me out on Instagram and TikTok at Ruby's Best Life. And, you know, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, talk to you later.